Oh my god. Hey guys, I'm Amy with Motor City Nerds. Let's talk about Secret Invasions episodes 2 and 3 because when they allowed, it'd be one thing if it was just a movie. And yeah, if you're a movie critic, you get to go see that early. I understand that. But when Disney Plus is giving the first 2 episodes to really mega giant channels, it's kind of discouraging when you're tiny like me to cover the next episode. I was like, yeah, everybody's already watched this from these jabronis and it kind of sucks. So I'm just going to combine episodes 2 and 3. I am pleasantly surprised, and I've been saying this. I was like, the people that started with Marvel when they were young, the MCU, are getting older. They're going to want the violence to go up too. We want it as adults to go up. I was in, my sophomore year? Shoot, was I a freshman? 07 to 08? Oh yeah, I would have been a freshman in high school when the first Iron Man came out. So I was a bit older seeing these. So of course, my age group's like, oh yeah, we want certain characters to be more violent. I think a character that really suffered from not being able to have the violence or an R rating is Black Widow, because her story is so serious. She's an assassin. But, so I think that storyline struggled a bit. But they seem to, I know it's not rated R violence, but they're really going there in these 2 episodes. And in the second episode, we see Nick Fury's wife, and then later on in episode 3, that's what me and Mom were saying. We're like, does he know she's a Skrull? It seems like he does. Is she a bad Skrull? Is she a good Skrull? We think that she is pretending like she's on the bad guy side, but really she's not, and she's not gonna screw Nick Fury over. But that part of it was honestly my least favorite part, but it's great. This is honestly, I think this is the best series that they've done for the MCU since Loki, probably. I don't think it's better than Loki, but it's definitely very good, and Sam Jackson is killing it, and I love him as Nick Fury. And if you're new here, this little spy pocket of the MCU is my favorite. And I know we have Captain America and Winter Soldier and Super Soldier Serum, but it's the real down to earth part, you know what I mean? And now we have aliens there, of course, and they can shapeshift. But if we just swap that out for Black Widow wearing a mask that changes her face, like in Winter Soldier, it's still the same concept. It's a spy thriller, and I'm all about it. I was kind of shocked when they took out Emilia Clarke's character, when they took out Gaia, because I was just like, oh man. But we have seen Talos from episode 2 and episode 1 being so against violence, but then in episode 3, the second his daughter's name gets dropped, he's ready to drop bombs on people, and I'm here for that. We have the one lady that worked with Nick Fury with the owl statue torturing a Skrull. That was gross, and making them burn up. That was horrible. But I liked that whole sequence in the I can't think of the word, in the butcher shop. I was shocked that they were going there, but I was happy that they were going there. And I was saying, I say this every time I watch Captain America or the first Iron Man. I'm like, remember we had guns? Remember when we attacked other humans? Remember when that was a threat and we could attack them and do things about it? And we got away from that when Disney bought it. They made it squeaky clean, and then they realized we gotta have some leniency here. And I've been saying that. I was like, they're gonna have to, especially acquiring Daredevil and the things from Netflix, they're gonna have to separate these somehow, where it's I don't know, maybe make it so there's a more parental control on Disney Plus, but I know that's not what Disney wants associated with their name, so they're going to put it on Hulu. But at the same time, it's just no. These kids that were 5 when Iron Man came out are getting older too. They want to see these heroes going hard in the paint, some of them. I can see keeping other ones more family friendly, even though that might not be something we all want, but I can see them doing that. But Nick Fury is not one of those characters. Black Widow is not one of those characters. Winter Soldier, those characters are not those characters to do that with. They are assassins. They are making governments fall. Those are not the people to do that with. I'm loving this. I really am. I am loving everything about this. Swear to God, if they bring back Maria Hill or they bring back Gaia, I'm gonna be there. It takes away the impact. It takes away what those characters did, and it's not as good. But like we saw in episode 1, and we were saying with Gaia, was really seeing how Gravik was acting. She really was not digging that and was kind of leaning back towards, I need to go back with my dad, and she starts being an informant to them, hardcore. And we get to see the DNA stuff. We get to see that Groot's DNA is there. Some other ones are there. I know that those are Fantastic Four references they're making, but I'm not here to go, oh, every little connection. I'm here to go, you want to know what? Fundamentally, this is pretty effing good. And where do I think they'll go with my film brain, not my fan brain? And the second we got to episode 3, and we're snatching up dads, and Talos has no problem taking him out, I was like, ooh, only death can pay for life. We're losing somebody here, and I don't think it's going to be Talos, because I love this odd couple thing we have going with Nick Fury and Talos, and I'm all about it. My God, him stabbing Gravik in the diner, I was like, oh my god, like you oh wow, and now you're threatening to snap his neck. I'm here for it. But when everybody changed and we realized they were all Skrulls, that was really cool. In episode 2, I think the best acting scenes, because they got to go back and forth with each other, was Don Cheadle and Sam Jackson. It was like, damn, dude, you're really going hard back and forth. Mom and I know a lot of people think that Rhodey altogether is a Skrull. We don't think that, but we think that was a Skrull pretending to be Rhodey to fire Sam. But I loved their back and forth. That was fantastic. When we got Sam Jackson on the train with Talos in episode 2, I took that as it was kind of hypocritical and kind of ironic, if that's the right word, of Sam Jackson to talk about riding from the South to Detroit, having to ride in a certain boxcar because of the color of his skin, and now you are turning around and telling this other species of humanoid that they're not as important. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, did you hear what you just said? Like, come on, man. We get the whole backstory of Nick Fury promised to get them a home, and he never followed through with it. But do you guys want to know the problem here? Ozymandias from Watchmen is my favorite, and he does exactly what Gravik does, so I'm like, oh no. This idea, I understand it. You don't go all out with the nuke, though. You just scare the shit out of everybody, take out a few folks, and they all unify and go, that's the threat against us. And I really loved hearing Talos, not a human, say that to Gravik when he's like, you don't understand. That's when humans are at their peak best, is when they can unite against a common enemy. And like I said, that's exactly what Ozymandias does to stop nuclear holocaust. So yeah, Gravik's going too far with it because they can live after a nuke goes off. We couldn't. But Gravik's trying to make that happen. Ozymandias didn't go that far. He was just dropping squids. But I just thought it was funny because I was like, same concept here, but Talos is the one spitting knowledge. Like, no, that's when they're going to unite against us, you stupid idiot. I mean, the motivations here make sense. The motivations make sense because it goes more than just a home. It's like, we were displaced. We're angry about that. You never came through. Some people are thinking that's his dad. Like, Gravik and Fury are related. I'm like, I don't think that. But I like the motivations. But I think they should make Gravik a little more like, no, I'm pissed, but I'm also slightly out of it to go this extreme with it. Because he wants to make, like, essentially supers of the Skrulls and make super Skrulls. And I'm like, okay, I get we're going really comic heavy, but that's a stupid name. Am I offending somebody by saying, that's a stupid name? The super Skrulls, you sound stupid. You sound stupid. It sounds like a stupid name. Just saying. But they're snatching up DNA and we all know this from Jurassic Park. Don't mess with genetics. Don't do that. Your scientists are so worried if they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. I definitely think it's going to make for some cool stuff, that's for sure. But yeah, we're not supposed to be cheering for this bad guy. He's infiltrated all levels of the government with all his little Skrull people. So this is a very interesting concept, and I know it's a whole thing in the comics. Like I said, I'm just going off of what we saw on screen, though. They haven't made it too confusing for the average person, like my mom or whoever, to keep up with this, because they could make it real crazy, and it could be like, wow, okay, what's happening? But they're handling it very well. I feel like they're handling it extremely well. And it's one of those things, like I said, with the spy thriller part, where everybody's kind of enemies, but everybody's kind of on a side. Like, that lady hates Skrulls, but Nick Fury's still calling her and getting info and this and that. But I'm really digging that aspect of it. And like I said, that's just because it's my personal taste. We got Super Skrulls coming. We got nukes coming. We got doppelgangers all going around by the end of episode 3. I really loved Fury and Talos going to Roberts, going to Bob's. That was really funny. And their whole back and forth and how they are with one another and how much Talos really has been there for Fury. And Fury kind of being the Black Widow in this. Like, go back and watch Winter Soldier, which is, I think it might be my favorite in the MCU. And she's like, I don't need friends in this line of work. And it's like, Fury needs to realize he does need his friends. And there are people that care about him. Like when Talos said, I do it for you. I stood with you. I was like, oh my God, best buds. Their whole back and forth. And we see Fury and Talos kind of going back and forth on their own ideologies a little bit, but not totally. They go up in the house. We see Talos this is what I mean. He sees the kid, passes the room. Fury sees the kid, snatches him up, and drags him into the room because he knows Talos is being held captive. But I think Fury would have done that either way. I think Fury, that's just in his head, is the analytical smart thing to do. But we really get to see how Talos would handle it and how Fury would handle it. And that younger Skrull, the younger black dude with the funny Russian hat who joined the Skrulls in the episode 1, he's the one that started going, I don't want to do this, right? I think that was him. But we have 2 Skrulls undercover, looking like somebody else on this nuclear launch site, and they're going to make it go down. Is it a submarine, something like that? I'm so sick of the ocean. Stop this. So the nukes are going to go off. They have it going. They need Talos to morph into Robert and give the password over the phone, but they need the guy alive because he has the password, right? And they start popping off. They make the mistake because, like I said, Talos seems pretty chill until you bring up Gaia, and then he's going to go snap City on you, and he immediately offs this guy. I was like, geez, Talos, that's not what you've been doing. I'm sorry, guys. My camera's been messed up this whole time. So we have Talos offing Robert. He does try to console the kid after, which I liked. But like I said, the second he did that, I was like, oh no. I didn't think they'd actually take Gaia out. And then they did. And I was like, damn, only death can pay for life, Daenerys. What are you doing? That I didn't think was going to happen. But I was also very curious. I don't know if they're going to bring her back. I hope they don't bring all these people back. Like, if you want to do the multiverse thing and something else and show them, feel free. But I don't want them coming back. Then the impact of them dying does not hit the same. So don't do that here. It gives them the motivation. Maria Hill dying gives Fury a certain kind of motivation. Gaia dying is going to give Talos, I hope you don't flip motivation. I think he might kind of go bad. Like, maybe not in this series, but down the line, and make him like a ruthless warlord or something. I think that is a big possibility. Nick Fury's kind of pissing them off, and but like I said, I like their motivations, I like Nick's motivations, everybody's got motivations, and if you bring people back from the dead, it changes that, and I don't want that to happen. Did think at first when they said Emilia Clarke was going to be in it, I'm like, she's really going to sign on to the MCU? Like, she, of all people, knows what that entails, signing on to something that big. Like, she worked on a show, on one of the biggest shows of all time, for a decade. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you sign on with Marvel, you know, like, I'm in this for a minute. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know her, but would you really want to jump into something right after you got out of something, is what I'm saying. And like I said, I'm sure she'll come back in certain ways possibly down the line, but I really hope they don't bring her immediately back in this world, in this universe, in this show. That is dumb. Did you already know you're only going to have to do, like, a certain amount of episodes and you're out? Well, this is a short series, so I'm just saying, like, if it was me and I was stuck on the same thing for 10 years, which I was on the assembly line, and then was given the opportunity to change it up, I probably would. And I don't know if I would be as likely to go, I want to do that again for another 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows? Shoot. Sam Jackson's been doing this for how long? 15, since 2008, since the first Iron Man? I think people forget that, too. I'm like, Sam Jackson has been there just as long as Robert Downey Jr. He might not be the star of the first movie, but he's been there just as long. I do hope that Sam Jackson gets acknowledged for this. Like, I don't know about winning an award, but I definitely think he deserves to be nominated. It depends on what he's up against, but I'm like, man, you are really, really killing it, and you are always great as this character, but this is something else, and I'm really enjoying it. And what do you guys think about the wife? I'm sorry that this is so put together. Like, if you've watched my other stuff, my chest hurts. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if it's my allergy. I don't know if I'm sick. But tell me what you think down below, and tell me what you think about the wife. Do you think that she is good or bad? And are you on me and Mom's logic of going, she's saying she's cool with Gravik, but really she just wants to flip on him for Fury? Or maybe she is that resentful towards Nick Fury. I don't know. We'll see. But they better not bring nobody back from the dead. And I'm Abby the Motor City Nerds. I'm on OnlyF. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all the stuff down below. Yeah. I'm sorry that things are taking me longer. Sometimes it just takes you longer, you know? It is what it is. Oh, my Walking Dead City is up. Everything's up. Go check it out. Like I said, I'm not feeling so hot, but I'm going to try to get everything out to you guys today.